guys, welcome back to my channel. As you know, here on my YouTube channel and on my website, I talk a lot about productivity and beating procrastination. And while I absolutely love for my day to unfold in a way where I'm really productive and not just really busy, I never praise the hustle culture. You don't see me saying, hey, yes, you should be productive at the expense of everything else in your life. That's not me. That's not what I strive for. That's not what I want to teach you. The reason I'm so passionate about productivity and being efficient and beating procrastination is because I know that those things are usually required for someone to be able to take action, and that's the way that you'll achieve your goals. So I was reminded of this, and why I wanted to sit down and record this video for you today is because yesterday I listened to a Q&A from Mayo Clinic, and there were two doctors that were sharing some advice and some resources on there. Dr. Halena Gazelka and Dr. Couser were sharing their expertise. And so I took a ton of notes. I have them in front of me here. There were 3 key takeaways that I want to share with you here today. And then I'm also going to link the Q&A in the description box below so that you can listen to it yourself if you'd like to and learn even more. But really quick, first, if you are brand new to me, my name is Berta Lippert, and I'm a Mayo Clinic trained and board certified health and wellness specialist. And where I specialize is behavior change, where I help people create the changes that they'd like to in their life. So if you like content like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel and consider joining my VIP list at bertavip.com, where I'll send content just like this right to your inbox once a month. So let's go ahead and get started on these 3 key takeaways that I got from the Q&A yesterday. Yesterday was dedicated to this brand new kind of balancing act that we have with regards to work-life balance. And it's a little different maybe for a lot of people now, especially because of the pandemic. The first key takeaway I want to share with you today is about boundaries. Now, boundaries is nothing new to me. It's something that I help lots of my clients with and establish boundaries. But one thing that Dr. Couser mentioned, I thought, oh yeah, that is kind of key, and I want to share that with you today, is he was talking about some of the changes since the pandemic. Is a lot of us now lack very real physical boundaries. Where we used to get up and go to work every day, a physical location that was separate from our home, right? So he was saying a lot of times people, maybe you don't even change clothes, you don't go anywhere, you're not leaving your house, and you don't have those physical boundaries anymore. So that might be something to take to heart. And in your home, maybe you can carve out a space, even if just a small space, in another room where this dedicated space, and that's the location for your work to take place. And Dr. Couser was mentioning that you may have to make sure your kids know, or your family know, that hey, there's going to be times that I'm not available, that I'm working and I can't be interrupted. And same with work. They're going to need to know that just because you're telecommuting, you're not necessarily available 24/7. So you need to make sure that they understand that there's some boundaries with that as well. So I thought that was interesting. I think a lot of us probably can relate. So just the lack of physical boundaries might come into play. Now, on the Q&A, he did talk about limiting tech and things like that as well. So if you want to learn more about boundaries, check that out in the link in the description box below. The second key takeaway I wanted to share with you today is about identity. And as soon as Dr. Couser mentioned this, I lit up because you guys know I talk about identity all the time and how important it is when it comes to our perceived identity of who we are and the changes that we'd like to make in our life. But it really comes into play here too, guys, with regards to your work-life balance. So they were giving examples in the Q&A about working from home. So you might have someone who starts to work from home and they start to feel disengaged. So for that person, maybe they use technology in their favor and they start communicating with, whether it's text or Zoom or whatever the technology is that they can use to feel more connected. You might have someone in the exact same situation, but their identity, their values, their beliefs, their preferences, their styles, their personality is a little bit different, and they're feeling a little over-connected. Now that they're working from home and telecommuting, maybe people think they are available 24/7, and so they put boundaries around the technology. So just make sure that you know that you're unique and how you respond to these things. We need to make sure that you're exercising some compassion, and Dr. Couser talked about this. So self-compassion is important, and especially when it relates to your identity. It's not that you couldn't get something right or you couldn't adapt as well as you would like to. You're human, and we respond to things differently based on our experiences, based on our preferences and our styles and our personality. So I thought that that was really key too, is recognizing how your identity plays a role in your response to some of these things with regards to work-life balance. So the third key takeaway I wanted to share with you today is about planning. So planning and scheduling, he said that it's not just about emotional health, but with regards to work-life balance, that we need to make sure we take into consideration our schedule and our planning that we'd like to for our physical health. So things like moving and sleeping and eating right. So he said, kind of plan out what is it that you'll eat that day, and when will you take breaks and rest and recover, or when will you exercise? And something that he mentioned about exercise, I know you're going to love if you like productivity, is he said this, that a lot of times people think that exercise will interfere with productivity, so they don't want to exercise. But what he said is the opposite happens, that a lot of times the exercise will actually bolster our productivity. So keep that in mind next time you want to skip that activity that you have planned on your calendar. So those are my 3 key takeaways from the Q&A. But you guys, it was a lot longer than that, and there were a ton of resources, especially surrounding mental health. At the end of the Q&A, there was a lot of resources that they shared. So make sure that if you're interested in this topic, that you go and take a look. Again, the link is in the description box below. So I hope you found this useful. I appreciate you letting me share this with you. Again, if you like content like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel and join my VIP list at bertavip.com. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time.